Hi, lovely people. I'm not very active. I mean, I tend to walk around quite a bit, and I like to dance. Terribly. But I have a reason for my general inactivity, okay? Whenever I tend to move around too much, someone usually gets hurt, whether it's me or somebody else. So gather around, kids, because it's story time. Let's start with one of my earliest memories of physical education, the scooter board incident. I was in the second grade. It was a glorious day, as it was one of the few times of the year that the PE teachers let us have access to the scooter boards. It was like Christmas Day to public school kids, but we also must have all been masochists because every single time, without fail, someone would get their fingers rolled over. But we still loved them. On this particular day, though, I wish that was all that had happened. So one of the common things that we would do on these scooter boards is make these train type things. Someone with better upper body strength would be at the front, and someone else would grab onto their ankles and their feet would be used as propulsion. So here I was on my own scooter board just minding my own business and zooming around the gym when some kid decides to grab onto my ankles without my permission. Now granted, I probably should have done the smart thing and just have politely asked him to let go, but instead I decided to take a sharp turn, making him lose his grip and subsequently flinging him into a wall face first. Then the blood and tears started. On the bright side, it wasn't as bad as him breaking his nose or anything, but he did have a fat lip for a little while after that, and I still feel terrible about it to this day. Let's fast forward a little bit to middle school, or more specifically, the Dodgeball Incident. Dodgeball, or as I like to call it, firing squad practice. Back in elementary school, I actually used to love dodgeball, and that was when we played it with softballs. Like I said, we were probably masochists, but middle school and high school were dodgeball hell. Every single game, and I'm not exaggerating here, every single game, some part of my face would get pummeled with those spheres of death. The worst time, and I think also one of the last times I played this dreaded game, I had just gotten braces. Yep, I bet you can tell where this is going. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. And I have to say, that throw was totally illegal. Before every game, the teachers would say, "Alright, listen up. Any hit above the neck is an illegal move and the thrower is automatically out." But did that stop them? And it wasn't just dodgeballs that I got bludgeoned with. Oh no! There's also the basketball incident. Freshman year of high school, the class was Intro to Sports and Games, which, by the way, I did not sign up for. I signed up for dance as my mandatory PE class, but that's a no-can-do, and I got stuck with pain. I mean, I took hip-hop a year later, but that's beside the point. So, in this class we have rotating units, each unit being a different sport. And the only one I liked was the badminton unit. I mean, if something is going to fly into my face no matter what I do, I'd rather it be a birdie over basketball. It just figures that we start the basketball unit right after I get my ears pierced. Sure enough. Yes, there were tears. And I think any other time I probably wouldn't have cried, but I had just gotten them pierced the day before. And of course the guy that hit me was a total jerk about it. Stop being such a baby about it. Are you okay? No, I just got my ears pierced. I am so sorry. Nothing makes girls bond faster than the pain of beauty. And my final story, which happened a year later in another mandatory class, which was the ingenious combination of a health class and a PE class. So if your BMI number didn't totally crush your soul, the pacer test would definitely finish you off. This class also had varying units, just like the last one, and this is where the ultimate frisbee incident comes into play. The class was split up into teams during these several weeks, and every team had to come up with their own unique warm-up drill, which would then be displayed in front of the entire class. I don't know, masochists? So my team came up with a fairly simple one. There would be 2 runners and a third person throwing the frisbee. The person would throw the frisbee and the 2 runners would run and basically try to race each other to catch it first. And then I think there was something about tossing the frisbee back and forth between the 2 runners as they made their way back to start, and then you rotated players. I don't really remember. It sounded more simple in my head. Anyway, the point is, this other guy and I were the runners, and the frisbee was tossed, and I caught it. I still can't believe I managed to catch that stupid thing. Unfortunately for the other guy, my shocked victory had me come to a complete and sudden stop. But another surprising fact, I didn't fall down. I managed to stand up straight, and it was like he had bounced off a brick wall and landed flat on the ground. I remind you that the entire class saw the whole thing. For a fraction of a second, there was stunned silence before, ooh, ooh. And then, of course, there's always that one guy. Ha! So yeah, those are my, highlights when it comes to physical education. I'm just letting you know that if any of you want to invite me to some activity, you now know the risks, okay? But do any of you have horror stories that involve the pain and suffering that is PE? Let me know down below. I would like to believe I'm not the worst at sports, but somehow I doubt that. Anyway, thank you for watching. It really means a lot, and I will see you next time. Bye. Not this time. First, you have your Alice's, which I normally would attribute to freshmen, but it can also pertain to basically any time you have new classes and really don't know where you're going.
Well, it says I'm here, but that also says it's there. So my classroom should be here, but it's not. Curiouser and curiouser.